I'm going to live my life how I want it for a good 75, maybe 100 years, and then what? Suffer in hell for the rest of eternity?
Yes.
That seems like a
If you
great
don't
deal for
trust in
me.
Jesus, but you can put your trust in him and you don't have to suffer at all in hell. Now, you might say, but I only live 70 years. Why eternity in hell? It's because it's not about the amount of length of time that you spent sinning. It's about the fact that you've sinned against an eternal God. You sin against an eternal God, you deserve an eternal punishment for that. It's similar to in society. Some crimes a person might do may only take half a second to commit, but they don't spend half a second in jail. They could spend the rest of their life in jail for that one crime that took half a second to do. And so it's about the severity of the crimes that matters. Same with God. Every sin he considers very severe, therefore deserving of an eternal punishment. But there are still different degrees of punishment in hell, the Bible does speak about. But honestly, man, you are living in an age of grace at the moment. There's an option for you to be forgiven. If on Judgment Day you're like, God, can I now get forgiveness? He'll say no if you've rejected it here while you're still living.
Well, I wouldn't ask. I wouldn't ask if on Judgment Day there's a God. I wouldn't ask for forgiveness. I would see the road to hell, and I'll just be like, that's my little gate there.
You don't like pain or suffering, though. You don't like it, right? Because, like in life, let's say you get hit by a car because you crossed the road at the wrong time and you broke the law, you got hit by a car. Well, if you're injured on the road, you'd accept the help of the ambulance and other people to get you to hospital and help you because you can't help yourself. You've got broken legs. So, in the same way, should we not realize that we're helpless, we can't save ourselves, and therefore accept the help of God who's willing to take your punishment for you if you trust in Him? You don't say,
But,
no, it was my fault for crossing the road when I shouldn't have crossed the road, so no one helped me. No, you don't do that. You say, I can't help myself, please do
but
help me.
why wouldn't God save me before I cross the road?
Because He doesn't have to. God doesn't have to. Why do you think He would have to save you from crossing the road? He's given you a mind and a will so you can make decisions, and you can also make decisions that are sinful, right?
If I consider you my friend, like my best friend, I would expect to be able to count on you for certain things or at certain times.
But only if that friend has promised to do something for you. If I'm like, hey, I need my toenails clipped, and I'm like, my friend doesn't clip them, am I going to get angry at him? No, because he never promised that he was going to clip my toenails. So in the same way, God has
No,
never promised
but,
to
but,
keep you
but,
safe from danger, particularly when you've rebelled against Him. And I have too. We've all sinned
but
against Him.
wait, so the only reason I believe is to go to heaven, not for protection?
Correct. The reason why you put your trust in Jesus is not to be safe from getting hit by a car. You trust in Jesus to be saved from the wrath of God that's to come so you don't have to go to hell.
The wrath of God.
Yeah. God is angry with people for their sins. He's a just God, and therefore just judges need to punish criminals who break the law. And so that's why He's fixed a day when He will judge the world in righteousness, the Bible says. Anyone who sinned against Him, He'll unleash His wrath upon them forever unless they've had Jesus pay for all their sin. Then they're clear.
Yeah, but that sounds like a narcissist.
God is right to do things for Himself because He's worthy of it. Because you mentioned earlier, you read the Bible, you said God does stuff for Himself. Yeah, of course He does. He owns the universe. Absolutely He can do that. When you own a car and you drive the car where you want to drive it, I'm not going to say that's selfish. You own that car so you can drive it where you want to drive it. And so God owns the universe, and so He can do whatever He wants in His universe. And what He does is always right anyway.